dragon or they can speak human. Who's fucking them?
Who would
Do you
dare?
have to be a female to give birth to a dragonborn? And like, did it go on that way, or did some guy have the balls to rape a dragon?
I don't pretend to know.
That's
It's a bit of a mind.
I'm about it too much. It's the thing.
Yes, you are.
I'm curious on how that happened.
I don't know. I don't pretend to know. I actually don't claim to have gotten that far in Skyrim to know that, so I actually haven't beaten the game.
Back to Ultima Online, which is what we were talking about.
Yes, because there's only 2 classes that we know of. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that we also don't know. For some odd reason, they have beta signups, but no gameplay trailers, no CG, not even pre-rendered CG. We have 3 pieces of concept art.
And they're pretty vague. Like,
Very
one's like a box cover, and one's a map. I mean...
One's a box cover, one's a map, and it looks like the Gypsy, which there's always a Gypsy.
That might be Lady British.
It looked like a Gypsy, and it mentioned something about a Gypsy, so I doubt that would be Lady British.
I don't know. It might be.
Who knows? We know nothing at all, but hopefully, if anything, BioWare will be able to somehow do the Ultima name justice. Or at least some type of tie-in to make everything work. Or just completely sweep under the rug that Ultima 9 never happened.
Or, now stay with me now, they go back, and they fix fucking Ultima 9! What the fuck?
I think it's a little late for that.
They can always release it in the We're Super Sorry edition. Everything makes sense.
I could see them doing that, but then again, I'm not sure I could see EA letting them do that.
Fucking EA.
They killed Ultima. It wasn't Origin, it wasn't Richard Garriott, it was EA. But then again, EA had a habit at the time of killing franchises like that. Have you heard of the Lands of Lore series?
I think so.
If you haven't, Kikoskia has a Let's Play of 1, 2, and the Ungodly Awful 3. Let's not talk about the Ungodly Awful 3, which crosses over with Command and Conquer.
What?
Yes.
How?
It's hard to explain without spoiling the whole game. It was horribly, horribly bad. And they killed that franchise with that bit there. On top of the game being rushed and being a early 3D modeled game from first-person perspective.
EA, give people time to finish shit. You don't do that. You just... We want it out now.
Well, then again, they're also the ones that made KOTOR 2 as rushed as it was, with a 13-month development cycle.
Yeah, let people finish shit.
But then again, you also have to realize, a lot of money goes into making a game. I mean, I'm going to take devil's advocate here. Don't get me wrong, this is devil's advocate. A lot of money goes into making a game, because every game is essentially, in any other industry, it would be called a research and development project. Every game is a research and development project. So much money gets sunk in it that from time to time it's like there's just so money in this, just we need to try and recoup our costs. Sometimes that happens.
I understand that, but at the same time they would make more money if they let the games get finished.
But how much more money would get sunk into it is the cost versus how much you're going to get.
That's true.
Are they going? It's an accounting thing.
See, let's look at Sonic 06, shall we?
Oh, Sonic 06.
That
Do we have to?
was so bad, none of the team want to be known for it.
No.
None of them. They all shun it. No, if I believe, since Sonic has such a huge fan base, if they had just let them finish the game, it would have made more money than it did. I mean, people still buy the game now just to play a terrible game.
And which is why it's so expensive.
Yeah, I've bought it myself, and I've played it, and if I ever become a millionaire, I'm going to find that team, and I'm going to pay them thousands of millions of billions of euros to finish that damn game.
Now,
I will find everybody. I want a good Sonic 06.
Now, I
do.
thought about this, and the hardest part, other than obviously the snowboarding controls, which are god-awful, is the Mach speed sections.
Dude, you don't go fast.
Well, not only that, but that could have been fixed by using since the later games use the lane switching mechanics. If you used that, it would be more tolerable, possibly even better.
Things they can fix about that game.
Oh yes, but you know,
They could have released a patch afterwards to fix most of the bugs.
It was back in 2006. You have to realize, that was back in 2006. It wasn't often you patched... In fact, you didn't patch a console game. You didn't do that until, like, 2009.
I know, but they still could have.
Like,
here, is this 3 years late, here's a patch. We're sorry. You won't fall through the earth anymore. You can't just stand on ceilings. You don't just spaz out for no reason when trying to use something stupid.
It was a bad game. It failed for technical aspects and technical
One of the power-ups
reasons.
wasn't even finished, and it just glitched out the game, and it was so easy to... You know, the story wasn't that great either.
No, but it was probably
interesting.
par for the course for a Sonic game. You have to admit, it was probably par for the course.
Blaze is from an alternate dimension, though, not from the future. I'm saying that. That's canon. She's from an alternate dimension, not the fucking future. And Silver is a retard.
That's because he's silver.
The Iboist Twiggle.
Yes, but he is a psychic hedgehog. You have to admit, that was...
And they
an
will
interesting
never
thought.
use him again.
Well, they did in Generations.
That's because it was Generations and they were going through stuff. That makes sense. They will never use him again. Ever.
No, probably not.
Ever.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Next topic.
You want to choose one, or shall I?
You go first.
Dear Esther keeps selling.
Why?
250,000 copies to date.
Okay, here's a story. I'm going to tell you all a story. Dear Esther was a mod made, a long time ago, not that long ago, that people would forget about it. It was for the original Half-Life.
I thought it was a Half-Life 2 game. I thought it was a Half-Life 2 mod.
I'm pretty sure it was a Half-Life 1 mod.
Could have been. I'm just remembering.
Yeah, Half-Life 1 mod. Half-Life 1 mod. And it was free. Pretty sure. You downloaded it, you played it, it was a story. That's all it is a story.
Mm-hmm.
Jump to 2012, 11, whatever the fuck it came out.
Not that long ago, so I think it would be 2012. Maybe late 2011.
They decided to redo it, but not a mod and a full game. And you know what you do in that game? You press W, you go forward, and you listen to a story.
And it's not even awfully well paced. There's large spots of just silence because you're walking, and you walk slowly.
You can't enter the environment. You can't kill yourself because you're bored. Trust me, you can't kill yourself because you're bored. You can't go anywhere other than where you're supposed to go to advance the story. Don't buy the fucking game. Go on YouTube, type in Dear Esther, and watch it. It's the same shit. Saving money.
But the thing is, and this is something I've heard a lot, is that if we want video games to really be an art medium, we have to move away from the concept of enjoyment.
See, that's not true. You can enjoy art.
You can, but sometimes art can be depressing.
Yeah, it can be, but at the same time, Dear Esther's not depressing. It's boring.
That it is to a lot of people, but it still sells for some reason.
I don't know anybody who likes it.
I don't know either. I don't know many people who've played it. So, but for an example of a game that does things well, that's enjoyable and yet makes you feel absolutely horrible, is Spec Ops: The Line. Because you start to feel horrible when you start committing these atrocities of war. And you start to feel horrible. You don't enjoy it, you feel bad. You feel awful. You feel like you shouldn't be doing this, but you have no choice. You start to detach yourself from the character, and you start to feel bad.
What about, it's one of the Red Faction games where you end up being a terrorist.
I'm not sure if that one did that well, or if it was just a, hey, here's a gun, go blow things up, because of the destructible environments.
I think for the people who actually played the game for the story and all that, it probably did it well. For the people who just want to blow shit up, it was probably just...
Very likely.
Cool, I blew shit up.
That is possible, I will admit. I'm not sure. But yeah.
I will accept video games as art, because there are so many video games that have beautiful sceneries or beautiful music and is really immersive. But Dear Esther isn't immersive at all.
No.
There's like... You could put me in a holodeck, and it would only do Dear Esther, and I still wouldn't feel immersed into the damn world. It's a bunch of letters.
Pretty much.
You can read them. I'm pretty sure somewhere online you can find them and read them. It's
now, a game that does immersion well with a little bit of interactivity would be actually
Minecraft.
Well, not just Minecraft. I'm thinking more Amnesia. You feel in the world. If you've ever played Amnesia: The Dark Descent,
it does. At the same time, it doesn't, because when you get scared, it goes up to fight or flight. Why is there a thing over?
I apologize. That would be a raptor.
Okay. When you get scared, there's fight or flight. You either fight or you run, and that game really only gives you the choice to run and hide. Really, in my honest opinion, running only puts off the fight until later. You have to fight, but still, it is interesting because you don't necessarily know what's chasing you to begin with. You get scared of the unknown, or when you know what it is, you get scared of the inevitable realization of what's going to happen when it catches you, and then you just want to run. But at the same time, like take Jesse Cox for example, he actually did try and fight it.
It didn't work well.
And you can't fight it at all. You don't have even the slightest option to try and fight.
Nope.
Which I guess is understandable, but at the same time, I wish they would at least give you something to do besides hiding in Amnesia 2 China or Steam something. Something. Chinese something.
Machinarium, Machine for Pigs.
Machine for Pigs. That's
Machine for Pigs.
It takes place in China and there's steampunk. That's what I was thinking. China Steam.
Yeah. I don't know. I do know that it's a very good game. It's a very good-looking game. It tends to be very immersive. You'll get scared more often than not.
I think Penumbra might do it a little bit better.
Penumbra is also pretty good, but if you notice, after the first Penumbra, they took away your ability to combat.
That's true.
Because being able to physically confront it removes any ability of being afraid. I mean, let's look at the Resident Evil games and how they've turned into basically shooters.
Well, just because you can confront it doesn't mean you should confront it.
And that's the difficult thing to do. I mean, that's how Resident Evil is changed.
That into games is you can confront this, but your chances of surviving are very low. You can't confront it, but should you confront it? There's sometimes you need to fight and sometimes you need to run.
That is difficult, I will admit. That would be an interesting thing.
I think we're going to make a game that does that perfectly.
Good luck with that.
But I will do it.
Okay.
I'll start my Kickstarter right now.
Okay, go for it.
I demand $1 zillion.
Anyway, moving on to this next one. A good old game is coming for iOS and Android devices. I might actually pick this one up. It is Jet Set Radio is coming.
If you guys don't know, awesome game that was on the Dreamcast.
It was.
If you guys don't know what a Dreamcast is, it's what came out a year before the PS2 and it was its competitor, but somehow the PS2 did better. And fuck you, PS2. Dreamcast was...
Yeah. It was the start of Sega's long decline as a console maker.
It was an awesome console. It was the first online console.
It came with a modem.
And it was free online.
Because it was a modem.
and then